Hey, good evening, everybody. Boy, we are active in the chat before things got started today, weren't we? Yes, well, welcome everybody to the show. I see there is a compression Thor shirt available for $40 or something over on eBay. I'll be sure to look for that. I need one in a large, at the very least. Someone asked me to make sure Anthony gets back to them about their purchase request that they made a few days ago. Anthony's usually in the chat, and I'll get him to pay $1.99 and answer your chat, Marvel fan. What else we got going in there? It is a Comic Card Fans Christmas coming up. It is December 1st, isn't it? We're finally here, 25 days away from the big holiday. I'm going to be celebrating Christmas back in Ohio, of all places, because that's where my mom is. So, and both my two kids, both my oldest son and Gwen are in Ohio right now. So we'll be going back up there, hanging out with them for Christmas, and then flying back. So, well, I'm flying back. Some of them are driving back. But at any rate, busy December for us. So welcome to the show. Got a lot of stuff to go over tonight. A few video clips for you. Got a weekly flip from Steve Creazier on a complete Shadow issue. All, very nice, including the cover. So that's we haven't done anything quite like that before, so that's going to be very interesting. And we also have a video clip that Michael Coach had put together for us from the 2022 Tokyo Comic Con that was just a week or two ago, I believe. I think it was 2 weeks ago. At any rate, lots of stuff to go over, but I'm glad that you're all here to help me get through it. And we've got a lot of good stuff going. Hey, Ken from 4C, nice to see you as well. Yeah, we had a fun show last night on Dueling Dealers. It's always a good time. I filmed a couple new memes. I have finally, at last, finished the script for our Christmas special and got that out to Anthony and Mike. So they're going to be filming that, I think, on Monday, and then we'll have that all pulled together by the holiday special, which will also be our 100th episode. So that's it's going to be a doozy. No singing, no dancing, just a lot of fun frivolity. But it's going to be a good time, I guarantee it. Graphic Samurai, yes, the Tokyo Comic Con. So let's see, where do we want to start today? I guess one thing, I've been getting a lot of emails. So any of you who have who got in on the sketch event that we did, the mystery sketch event, I can let you know that I think probably about half of them have been shipped. The ones from Ken from 4C are all shipped out. The ones from Mark Hay are all shipped out. And hey, if you're friends with Mark Hay and you didn't know it, he had a little surgical procedure done today, and he could probably use a little email wishing him well. He did do fine. I texted with him earlier today, but he's doing well. But so all the marks are out. I messaged with Tatiana today. A couple of her artists, one of them just got their stuff into her today. She had mailed out several of them, and one of her artists is actually in Israel, and either the package is going in the mail soon, or at any rate, so the majority of hers are out. Now, Jiggy's are in the mail. I haven't not gotten them yet, but I should have them, I'm guessing, Saturday. I mean, maybe Monday. I've gotten a brand new shipment from Bags Unlimited, so I've got all my Mylars ready to go, and I've gone to Home Depot and picked up all the Masonite I need. So I'm just waiting for those to come in. The problem with Jiggy, I think he had 16, 17 artists, so he had a lot more art to get together, and so it took a little bit longer, but it will be in soon. I will be getting those out as quickly as possible. So you got email. Oh, good, Alberto. I'm glad. Yeah, Mark, I thought shipped his out on Tuesday or so, but in Masonite, yes, of course, Peter. Yes, I mean, hey, I follow the Mark Hay method when it comes to shipping original art. I prefer Masonite over cardboard, although I haven't had any issues with cardboard in the past. But I like to do that, and I'm sure I'll be filming it too. I think I don't know. We'll figure out where I'll set up the space, but I've got to pack over 50 pieces of art, which is going to take a little bit of time. So I'll probably set a camera up and do it like I did the last time. So that'll be fun. Let's see, but yeah, so a little later than I would have liked. I think probably by about the 2.5, 3 week mark, we had everything shipped out, and we'll be pretty much close to there. But we can always do better. But as we expand, we doubled the number of sketches this time around, so I guess it was bound to happen that we would be a little bit slower. But we can always strive to do better. Bill knows the secret of the master mason. Thank you, Rick. Maybe. No Masons in my family though. Lodge members though. That's at least as far as I recall. And Tariq says, "Is my Galactus is on the way for Mark?" That was a incredible Galactus, Tariq. I had no idea it was yours. Once I really randomized the list, I never bothered to look back to see who they were going to and everything. So that was that was one of my favorite pieces that Mark unboxed. So congrats on that. Peter cut his finger opening Mark's package. So, yep, that's yeah, good. You didn't bleed on Paulo's art. That's always a good thing. So moving on to that. After that, I want to talk about the feedback system. Feedback system. Everybody knows emails went out from Comic Art Live to the sellers to submit feedback to their buyers. Many people have. We are in the process of wrapping up a page that will allow us to view feedback given to any CAF members who've gotten any. That I hope to have that rolled out by, I'll just say Monday or Tuesday. It's not quite ironed out how we're going to display that link because it needs to be a part of your profile on CAF, i.e. the green box. And I've got a screen shared here because there's one other thing that I never rolled out, and I just kept forgetting about it. And so here, let me just show you this. I can zoom in a little bit here, make that a little bit better. So this is Dino's CAF gallery, of course. Now it doesn't have the feedback on here, but when we were going in to put the feedback, I realized I never rolled out that best of award graphic programming that we did back in February or March. Eric Wenger put together the icons for me. So I mean, it's not set in stone how we're going to show them, but as you can see here, Dino was an award winner in 2021 and 2020. So I've put those emblems there. Right now, we're considering putting the feedback in line with the person's name. I mean, it's kind of feedback on eBay is sort of in that same spot. So I think it might make sense to kind of do that versus putting another item down in the list below here. So we'll toy with it over the weekend and figure it out. But when we roll that feedback link out, the page out, it will also have the best of update in there. So going forward, you'll always be able to see who has won a best of award in the last few years. I believe from 2019 forward, we're able to show winners from past awards. I pulled up Jim Halperin's as well. He was a winner last year, so he only has one emblem, whereas Dino's got the two. So yeah, like military medals on his chest, exactly. And as part of the redesign, I can tell you that one of the things that I do want to do when you're in a person's CAF gallery is taking at least this part here, name, premium gallery owner, and probably the medals as well, and maybe the date that they signed up, and kind of incorporating that into the top of this area here, just because I think that it's one of the things CAF doesn't do the best job of letting you know that this art is owned by this person and everything. So we're going to kind of start working on that header area as part of the redesign. But in the interim, we're going to keep all that stuff down there. So that you'll probably see that on a Monday or Tuesday. And feedback system is pretty much what you expect. You're going to go see everything that has been left for that person from a buyer or a seller, and you'll be able to switch it back and forth to be able to look at just buyer feedback for that person or just seller feedback for that person. All the common stuff. And that kind of, now that I've shown this, I might as well start talking about the best of, because we do have we've got a month. You've got 1 month to get your best collected artworks on CAF. Remember how this works, everybody. If the best of 2022, the submission process will start around the 2nd or 3rd of January, but you have to have your artwork added in 2022 to be able to select it. So if you've got some artwork that's coming in and you want to be able to participate in the best of 2022, don't wait until January 1st to post it. Make sure you get that artwork, even if it's not in your hand, get a scan of it and get it posted before New Year's Eve. And that's New Year's Eve Eastern Standard Time, everybody. Stick to that and you won't be sad. Every year I've always got 1 or 2 people that wishes they could get their piece added on January 1st, and it just doesn't work that way. We have a cutoff date. We only allow you to pick from artworks that you posted in the prior year. So just be ready for it. Stay prepared. Yes, by midnight, 12:31. And again, we're adding a new category, DPS, to this year. I know that was a popular request from last year, so James Siegel should be very happy. We'll have that opportunity to corner the market on the DPS side of things. We know he loves those. Oh, thank you very much, number one Marvel fan, for the T-shirt fun. I appreciate that. I will check out eBay. It was hard to, I could never find a large when, because I passed up the mediums the first time I was at Universal and looked around, couldn't find one, and then I went the second time, and that's when we bought it. So let's see. So yeah, best of, just please get that stuff up there soon, and then everything else will kind of fall into place. We are tentatively planning on having the awards ceremony. Let me go ahead. I know I threw a date at Mikhail yesterday. It should be on the 7th of February. So plan on the best of award ceremony to be February 7th. That's a Tuesday. And, it's become a great ceremony every year. And I'm sure we'll have a few other awards to give out like we did last year. It'll be a lot of fun. It's always a celebration. That's kind of tied to CAF's anniversary, of course. This will be the 20th anniversary of CAF on February 1st. But, I'll celebrate all year wherever I'm at and you are. We will have we'll have a toast to CAF for 20 years. So that's the big thing. Yes, you just joined to see your CAF gallery. Yeah, Dino, you're always a good example to use for a collector on CAF, Dino. So Dino in chief. Yeah, everybody's admiring your 2 medals. So that's not on there right now, but it will be on there Monday or Tuesday when the feedback stuff rolls out. But as far as best of, I'll just keep reminding you every week as we roll to the end of the year. I may miss a CAF update or two as we get around the holidays. When I was checking the calendar, I did notice that, what is it? Christmas is on, gosh, I don't even see it on here. Where's my calendar? Christmas is a Sunday. So, I've got a travel day wedged in there on a CAF date and probably a travel day back. I'm traveling to Ohio and spending a week there and coming back. So I'm not sure. I might miss a CAF update in between there, but I'll do my best to always remind everybody. I can always send out emails to the whole list, letting everybody know to see my, to not miss out. Okay, what was the comment above, Wes, that I missed? Is it one of yours? 5 entries is not enough for the best of. That's not even enough to put one piece in each category. Well, that's, it is a throwback, West. It is a throwback to the days of the Comic Ardell only allowing 5 entries. But, I hear you. I don't know. I could talk with the people in charge, which would be Mikhail and Brian, and see what they think. But we've always kept it to 5. There's still a lot of artwork to look through. If we let everybody have 6 or 8, or 1 per every category, potentially, there'd still be people like James Siegel might load up the DPS category with all, DPSs, or you could load up the cover. Category. You've got a fantastic set of covers you picked up this year. So I don't know. 5 has always kind of felt like a good number, but I understand what you're saying. It is somewhat limiting when there are so many categories out there to participate in. So I don't know. I'll think about it. But at the moment, it's still limited to 5. But I'll always take that into as advice on potentially making a change there. But we'll see. I've got the notebook right here. I will make a note. 5 enough? ? All right. Let's see. So what else do we got? I'm sure I actually had written down I wanted to show off the Dino page, so I've done that. Very, very good. But Chad could outload us all. Yes, that's true. And Mikhail, I was glad I was paying attention to the chat earlier before the show started. I didn't see a Dark Knight cover get posted to CAF either, but there you go. Who would have guessed? I don't know how I missed it. Well, I know why I missed it. I haven't been on CAF for the last couple of days, but when was this posted? This is in Steve's CAF gallery, and he posted it just yesterday. So there you go. It's a beauty. For those of you who also missed it, now you see it. A little bit of history there. Let's go ahead and we can remove that. If you can't make it, have Gwen do the CAF update, says Brett. Well, Gwen is up in Ohio with me, and she is she's working. As it turns out, she got a winter job helping some friends who do some work at the Cleveland Zoo. They have one of those, they set up Christmas lights there, and people drive through the whole zoo looking at the lights. And right at the end of it, they have a group of costumed characters. My son does the Grinch and a few other characters, depends on what night it is. So Gwen, kind of brought her in as a helper. So she's pretty much like super busy as well in those last 2 weeks of the year. So I won't see her very much except for probably on Christmas. So we'll see. What do we got here? I'm just trying to catch up on the chat. See, yeah, Black Viper of Dorn didn't see it either. Exactly. Sometimes, if you don't spend time on CAF every day, you never know what you're going to miss. Ian wants to know, is there a place on the site that talks about dates? I had a difficulty as a newbie last year understanding it. I know I now am clear on it, but for others, just asking, do I have dates? Not, I guess we don't promote. Well, I always send out emails. I don't really have a calendar on the site. I don't have a place where I push site announcements. I guess we probably could use something like that. I wouldn't disagree with that as a need. Well, there's a lot of needs on CAF, but I agree that having some form of announcement system on CAF would be good. Certainly letting people know when Comic Art Live is coming up if they're not paying attention to me here or checking emails. I agree. There's lots of popular drinking games with podcasts and live streams. Black Viper of Dorn, I believe. I see a lot of them all the time. All right, so what do we got? I've got a weekly flip to do. Steve Cruzier sent me a fun one. Steve, of course, sent us that Kubert exhibit from Spain, the video clip that I think we did about 6 weeks ago. And he told me at that time that he was going to film a complete issue flip, something we had never seen before, right? So he'd been talking about it and finally had the time to do it. And I could tell you every couple of times, the way his camera was set up, it did go out a little bit out of focus, but still really cool. Steve does a fantastic job describing the, how he got it and his love for the art. So I think we should just go ahead and play that because I think everyone is going to enjoy this weekly flip. And I can tell you that I will post it to the channel on probably Saturday afternoon as well. So have a look and enjoy.
Welcome to the weekly flip. Today, do something a little special. We're going to do a complete issue, cover and 20 interior pages, all by Frank Robbins. It's the Shadow #5, which was published in 1974 by DC, with a story by Dennis O'Neil. And let's take a look inside. Well, first, here's the original cover by Frank Robbins. And I didn't get the story and the cover together. I got them separately. I got the complete issue first. On eBay, I was the only bidder. And then about 6 months later, the cover came on eBay. And I knew I had to put it all together, and I did it. This is Frank Robbins' first issue on The Shadow. Mike Kaluta did the first 4. And did a couple covers afterwards, Kaluta. But this was Robbins when he did the full pencils and inks. His work for DC was mostly pencils and inks. Where he went to Marvel, he was only doing pencils and inked by various people like Frank Springer, Frank Giacoia, on Fear, Invaders, Captain America. Must have been pretty jarring for readers to go from Mike Kaluta to Frank Robbins, but over time, I think a lot of collectors feel that Frank Robbins' work is something special and have learned to love it, including myself. So let's take a look inside at the complete issue. The story is called Night of Neptune's Death by Dennis O'Neil and Rancatours. I'll spare you the dramatic reading. That's another segment. So this is the title page. Great shot of the shadow up on the top with double guns blazing. Guest character, I think that's General Sodom on the right. And then we got Margot Lane also in this story. So we'll take a look at her. This one takes place at sea on a ship. A lot of rich inks by Frank all over the place. Page 2, look at how it starts with the close-up on the shadow's eyes. Bookends it at the bottom, page 2 on the left. Really no wasted space anywhere. Frank's bringing all his cartooning instincts. Probably his best period for DC was doing all this in his work for Detective. So I think he only did maybe 3 covers. And one of them, I think it was issue 8, was owned by Eric Larson. Unfortunately, I think it was lost in the house fire that he had. And I think number 7, sold on Heritage, I looked up 2017 for $8,300. And then there was a Shadow number 5 cover, which was also to this issue, which was done by Kaluta. It was unused, sold on Heritage in March 2020 for $24,000. Nice cover, different. I prefer the Frank Robbins. Here are pages 4 and 5. Shadow on the left. Margot Lane entering the story on the right, page 5. Pages 6 and 7. What's great about having a complete story is you could read it. Back in this time period, dialogue is on the art. Letterer was Ben Oda. So he's part of the creative group for this issue. And a lot of collectors have mixed feelings on stories getting broken up. This one's staying together. Page 8 on the left, great Margot Lane action page. Love that panel from on the bottom holding the gun. So we're infiltrating the ship on the right, page 9. Kicking some butt. Pages 10 and 11. Shadow coming into the story. Even the pages without shadow, really well done. Everything's just, every page really well drawn. Lots of pages with shadow in this story, which is part of the reason I wanted to get it. Pages 12 and 13. Action on the ship. Neat explosion panel on the bottom right. No offense to the colorist of this issue, but I really like, as a lot of us do, the black and whites. Here's what the published to this one looks like. Good coloring job. Paper's a little faded yellow. But Frank Robbins stuff looks really great in black and white. Pages 14 and 15. More action with the shadow. Right now I just have the cover posted on CAF, but eventually I will have all 20 pages up there, so I think I'll have that linked in by Bill. The bottom. The shadow and shadow on the left. Lots of great action. Frank Robbins' energy just everywhere. Getting to the end of the story. This is pages 16 and 17. Here's 18 and 19. Margot Lane, General Sodom. And then coming up at the end, the shadow. And at the end, the shadow never fails. And on the right, you can see this came from, the seller was Dennis Kelly. His brother Bill Kelly owned the story. Bill worked for DC, and I guess he may have helped Dennis O'Neil out with the dialogue, and I think he was gifted the story, according to Dennis Kelly, his brother. He thinks that's what happened, so that's why Dennis owned the story. Steve, I'm glad this item is going to a good home. Enjoy, stay safe. Let's take another look at the cover again. Beautiful original cover. Just owning that alone would be awesome, but having the complete story, covering all the pages, that's amazing. All right, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, wasn't that beautiful? A little out of focus there at the end, but still it came back into focus as we got to right back to the cover. But I would say that there's a lot of great art in that. I agree with Dino about the cinematic approach on those panels at the beginning where there was just no borders, with the brim of his hat being the divider there at the bottom was amazing. I know that we featured as a part of a CAF update maybe a month or two ago that the title page to that story. So, and then at the time I wasn't even really sure. I didn't realize it was what Steve was going to end up showing me. He always just said it was a complete issue, didn't tell me it was what it was for. But yeah, that was fantastic, super beautiful, and congrats to Steve for having that. And I saw, yeah, he picked up the complete issue and then got the cover in an eBay auction later, and both were eBay auctions. And I know when he got the complete issue, he didn't say what it was, but he said he was the only bidder on it. And so yeah, congrats. You just never know, right? Especially, that was probably back in the day when eBay was actually a good place to buy art. So yeah, I don't know if Steve tunes in live to these. I think he watches these after the fact, but he told me he would watch it later. But yeah, I'll have that added to CAF, the YouTube channel, probably Saturday afternoon. So yeah, beautiful book. And Frank Robbins, I think, like a lot of you said, somebody for me who I didn't appreciate very much early on, but you look at his work now and it's gorgeous, absolutely stunning. So let's see what we got next. I got a couple packages here, and switch over to that. We've got this was from my guest who's going to be picking some artwork for us tonight, Andy Fish. I believe, as many of you know, when we had Andy and Veronica on, we talked about some of his recent projects, and he offered to send me a copy of one of the books. So let me take a look. I have a feeling that's what it is. I reciprocated. I actually still had one set of Dueling Dealers trading cards, and he had mentioned that his son really enjoys watching Dueling Dealers, so I sent him a box set of Dueling Dealers trading cards. And let's see here, what do we got? Oh yeah, this is the Blackwood book. So my library is filling up here. I appreciate all the books that I've been getting sent, everybody. Let's see. Very well packaged as usual. And there you go. That's the Blackwood. Oh, there we go. How's that? Library edition. I love the coloring on that book. It's almost like a black light poster, isn't it? So this is put together by Dark Horse. Oh man, look at that. And remarked by both Veronica and Andy. Here, let me. Here we go. How do you like that? Thanks for reading. I love, look at Andy's lettering on that. That is nice. Whew. All right. Well, thank you both. Well, we'll see. I'll be able to thank Andy in person in a little bit here. Let's see. I'll put this right here. And I got a box from Anthony Snyder, care of Bobby Barron, in an old Chewy box here. So I have no idea what it is. Again, I did not buy any artwork from him, so cannot say what this could be. I'm guessing it's a book as well. We'll find out. Oh man, they put a lot of bubble wrap on this. I think I'm going to have to finally change the blade on this knife, Mikhail. It's definitely a book. I don't know if I can get to it though. There we go. It is. Well, it doesn't say what is it. What issues is it? Da, 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 da. Well, it is a collection of the Mighty Thor. It looks like from. Well, it's really small. I can't see all the issue numbers on it, but the early 20s. It looks like, 120s. So there you go. Ooh, got a lot of reflection on there. Who's that? Quick Pal. I can't tell who the artist is on that. RD. But a little note says Happy Thanksgiving from Sharon and Anthony. So there you go. I got a Galactus. Hela's on there. Magog. Warlock. So yeah, very nice. Thank you, Anthony. Very, very nice. All right. See, the library is expanding. I love it. Maybe I should just invest in bookshelves, not framed artwork, right? Russell Dauterman. Okay, I saw Dauterman. Yeah, okay, Dauterman. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Russell Dauterman. How does everybody know that? I guess, all right, there's another artist name I'm gonna have to do some research on. Make a note of that, Dauterman. I will forget. All right. Okay. Yes, so thank you, Anthony. He's not here with us tonight. I'd have to give him a $1.99 tip, I think. So thank you for that. Let's see here. What do I got next? All right. So might as well go over the schedule. So there's not a whole lot of changes to it from the things we talked about last week, but a few things of note. Next week, I will have the Comic Connect preview on Tuesday. Then, as we mentioned last night, Mike is actually going to be in Orlando for a week. He leaves on Tuesday, doesn't get back home until the following Tuesday. So Anthony is on his own for Dueling Dealers. It won't be a Dueling Dealers episode. I don't know what we'll call it, but it'll probably be an art drop of some kind just with Anthony. So I don't even know if Maureen or Gwen will be helping out with that one. It'll be a just a solo hangout show. I'm sure Sharon will be there, but expect that for next Wednesday. Then what we've got, and I can tell you, the big thing there was Mike is going to be filming all of his Christmas special stuff on Monday with Gwen and my son Ashton are going over to his place on Monday to get it all done. So it's going to be a busy week for him to get to all those things in line, but we'll get it done. I still have an opening on the 13th for an interview if anybody's open. I threw a few invites out, but I haven't really got anybody to pick up on that. If nobody picks up on it, you know what? I'll be happy to take the night off. Then on the 14th, we've got the 98th episode of the Dueling Dealers Comic Art. Then we've got Shannon Weathers on Tuesday before the holiday. Then the 99th Dueling Dealers episode will be right before Christmas. And then, and I didn't change the date. It says the 22nd on there. It should be the 28th. 12/28 will be the 100th episode of the Dueling Dealers of Comic Art and our holiday special. So you're not going to want to miss that. I know it's a holiday week there between Christmas and New Year's, but you'll always be able to watch it on the rewind. But it is one of those. It's like the May episode we did, and also the Scooby-Doo or the Billigan episode. It's a full-on story that will be told throughout the entire episode, and then we'll post the full complete story after the show is over, of course. But it's gonna be good. It literally just kind of, the story dropped in my lap. As I started writing it out and drawing the storyboards, everything fit. So I think everybody's going to enjoy it. It should be a lot of fun. And then I can finally confirm, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to have Bart Sears on probably at least every 4 months, maybe 4 times a year. He hasn't really decided yet, but we did pick the first date, and that will be on January 28th. It's a Saturday at 2 p.m. So he'll be back. And we did talk a little bit about what he was going to bring. I know he brought a lot of prelims last time. So I think Bart's going to be focusing more on, character sketches, commission style stuff, maybe do 2 cover recreations this time versus 1. And we'll have, it'll be an interesting show. I like talking with Bart. We'll probably focus a bit more on selling art than making him hang out for 2.5 hours. So we'll see how that one goes. But I'm looking to hanging out with Bart more. And and I did forget to mention Mr. Chaikin will be with me this Saturday after next on the 10th at 2 p.m. I think he'll probably have about 18, 19 pieces of art. And he always brings just character sketches and those sorts of things with him to those shows. He'll have, I know he's done 6 pieces that are like 6x9, so a little smaller than what he's used to. So those pieces I think are going to be around that $275, $300 range. I can't, don't hold me to that, but they're going to be a little less than the 11x14s that he usually does, and which are usually around 500 to 600. He's going to have some of those too, but he wanted to do a smaller size set as well. So we'll have a variety of stuff from Howard, and I believe at least one cover recreation from him as well. Like Nick said, Howard is always awesome. He really is. He's one of my favorite people to interview for sure. Bart Kahn says, yeah, we can look at it like that. Yes. Hey, JD, you're reminding everybody we got over 80 people watching. Hit that thumbs up, everyone. And so, hey, I'll tell you, I've kind of hinted at, the fact that we are doing something special on the 100th episode for the 100th episode. I can finally talk a little bit more about that, just, because I've got something that I can, at least show a little bit from what we've got going on there. We've done the Dueling Dealers trading cards. We did that late last winter, I think is when we did that Kickstarter. And of course, last November, Nick Brucci was kind enough to do that Comic Art Live, Vampirella, Bill, that the wonderful cover that we got and everybody picked up for me. And that was, that's what needs to be hanging on the back wall here, is that Vampirella cover. So we've been kicking this one around for a while, and we have decided we are going to do another Kickstarter, and it's tied to the 100th episode. We are going to do a set of variant covers as well for that. 3, because we knew we wanted to do it. Variant cover through Dynamite, and Mr. Brucci is helping us out with that again. But there was, Mike and Anthony were like arguing over who was going to own the art from it, right? He's like, Mike's like, I got to have it. Anthony's got to have it. And I was like, well, if it's really good, I want to have it. So we decided we would do three covers, and it will be for a Red Sonja Vampirella variant. And I can show you 2 of the sketches. I don't think Nick will have a problem with that. It's we're going to tease these. I can't tell you when the Kickstarter will begin. It could be, maybe we start at the night of the 100th episode. I can't say for sure. It would probably make a lot of sense to start it there and run it through to the usual 30-day window. So it would probably end up finishing around January 28th or so, which actually is our 2nd anniversary. So, but here I can tease these images because they're really good. We're having Ken Hazer do the drawings again, and Ken does such a great job. He does a lot of those sketch covers that Nick sells on the EXP on Fridays. But he's just a super talented guy, and I'll be honest, it was really he did such a great job on the Vampirella piece, and I wanted to be able to put some money back to him. So that's why I was like, all right, well, I want to, not only do I want to have him do the drawings for these covers, but we want to own them too. So they won't be a part of the Kickstarter like they were when we did the first one. But here are the first 2 that we have. The third one is also a homage, like that second image there, of course, with the giant size X-Men homage. But the first one was one I kind of pulled all that one together. I was just like, I want to keep something funny tied to a lot of the humor we've tried to keep on the show. And I thought, what better way than to have Vampirella and Red Sonja celebrating a victory over all 3 of us. And of course, Sharon in the background, bringing a cake. And, I thought that everybody would enjoy that. So we haven't really worked out all the details for how we're going to, the tiers and whatnot, but the images are going to be great. And I can't wait to pull all this together with Nick. And we finally we settled on on the other cover as well. So once I have a sketch of that, I'll be happy to show that off as well. Well, Ron, that's too bad you're going out to dinner, but a dinner with the wife is always a good thing. Thank you, Comic Art Boston. I agree. I think they're going to be really fun, and we definitely are super excited to be doing it again. And I can tell you well, we'll talk more about it, but bottom line is they're going to be great. And the first set, the first book that Nick did was fantastic. There will be sketch cover opportunities by Ken as well. So, those were a lot of fun. I bought a couple of them. I know that several other people pick some up as well. So, I think it's going to be another fun thing, another thing to put out there. And then who knows, maybe we'll turn back to trading cards a year from then as well. All right, so I got that out of their way. That was fun. Now I do have one other video to show you. This was by Michael Koch. He visited the Tokyo Comic-Con, and this, unfortunately not a lot of artists there, but the thing is, it was really interesting. I mean, I actually, I watched it twice today because it was just interesting to see how they handled a large show like that. The space that it's in has got to be as big as San Diego or New York, or it could be even bigger. But it was interesting to see how they handled separation. I mean, there is no way on earth that we would ever, put as much space between booths as they did in this video. So very interesting to see. This is, it's about 10 minutes long, but and there is also a 15-minute version that I'll post on the channel tomorrow, because Michael actually filmed like pretty much the walk up to it, which was really interesting, seeing a lot of Japanese culture as you were leading your way up to the convention center. But this video clip is just going to be once he was in the convention center itself. But again, really, really interesting. I think you'll catch a glimpse of Ryan Benjamin, Alex Sinclair, a few other artists that were there. I know Ed Piskor was there, but I didn't see him in the video when I was watching it. But again, very interesting. So I think everybody would enjoy having a look at this, and I appreciate Michael for putting the time in to do that. Let me go ahead. I have to actually present this in a slightly different way than I usually would. Let me go over here and select it that way. And here we go.
So we're in Tokyo. Expect to see some cool stuff. I'm going to try to point it out for you guys when I run into it. As for seller displays, I'll keep an eye out for that too. I'm kind of curious if they sell original art here, as well as a lot of people watching this. Not that I'm a buyer, but I like looking at it when it's here. I hope to be a buyer someday though. But there is an artist alley, and I'm sure there's a place where they sell comics or manga, but I don't know how it's set up here. But it looks pretty interesting. There's a lot of I know Marvel and DC and Star Wars have a display here, so I'll look around and give you a report. Now, this doesn't look as packed as New York Comic-Con. I don't know if it's the same. I mean, I've been to a couple of New York Comic-Cons, but it's been a while. Maybe 2017, maybe it's the last one. So things are a little bit more spread out here. Or it could be just, it's a big space. But I'm walking in the center area looking for displays. I don't see any comic books or dealers yet, but I'm keeping an eye out for that. But there's toys, for sure. Star Wars, and mixed figures. This looks like an art area. Oh, I know this guy. That's Jeff Darrow and Ed Piskor. I know they're buddies from the Kayfabe. I think this is Artist Alley. I've gotten their autograph before, a while back. Yeah, I think this is Artist Alley. Miyako Kojima. Okay. well, I know a lot of viewers want to see this, so I'll do a quick scan. So it looks like Artist Alley and the main convention area share the space. And the celebrity area is in a different silo because they want to control the COVID restrictions over there. That's a little bit like the Javits Center Comic Con, where they have a different area. I'm not up to date on everybody. This kind of looks like Alex Ross or someone like that. Oh, no, someone different. I apologize if he's watching. All right, yeah, we have a setup. I don't see any art for sale yet, though. Outside of the artist, I don't see like people selling Kirby or Otoma or anything like that. Monsters, great. Matt Frank. He's right.
It's not like the
This is an idea of the setup. I think this is a colorist, Alex Sinclair. Here we are. He has a pretty nice setup. I think they share with a couple of guys. I tried to look on the website of who is here. Sorry I didn't recognize a lot of names, but some of you in the audience might know. Okay, this is the Artist Alley area, so I'll try to give you a peek. Sean Ellis, Matteo Loli, Deadpool, I recognize that. Yo Manga, Mirka Adolfo. I'm not sure if manga artists are here. They might be. If the manga artists and the European American artists combined, I assume they do. Oh, that's a pretty good one. Wow, these costumes are just getting better and better.
So much. I've never felt such a warm reception from a group so large. So thank you so much. Arigato. Thank you so much.
So here, there's cars from famous movies. This is Road Warrior, I bet. And then they have the kind of a newer version, the Mad Max car. We're still trying to confirm if these are the original or a recreation. My wife's been reading the Japanese and we're not super sure. But they're pretty convincing. It's the Road Warrior one. One of the great movies, I think. You're going to see a lot of car shows in Tokyo if you ever come. They're all over the place. They have them on top of the malls, and usually any kind of convention exhibit. They have cars of all types. And these are full of like, these are the real sets or recreations, which I'm not sure. They have Knight Rider, James Bond, and all the recent Batmobiles and Bat Cycles. This looks like it's from a 70s James Bond movie. And that's Knight Rider 2000. All the Terminators. Or Terminator 2, it looks like. Besides, that stuff. And that's the cycle from the Christopher Nolan movie. And that's from the Tim Burton movie, the Batmobile. I'll get a better shot. Yeah, the tumbler. That's what it's called. This is the DeLorean from Back to the Future. I don't know if it's the real one or not. Convincing. Okay, leaving the DC store. And, the fans of DC were really loving the stuff inside, so give them credit for that, but really, look at this compared to Marvel. This is the DC area. And let's look over to Marvel. I'm not cheering for them, I'm just saying there's a real contrast you see in terms of the fan praise between DC and Marvel. So this Star Wars kind of has a mild line, but you just have to see this. This is for the same kind of store we just left. DC versus Marvel pop-up stores. Look at this. You could walk into the DC store right away. This is like crowd control to get into the Marvel pop-up store. But they don't buy the comics out here. They love the movies. If I had the patience to go inside the store, I'd film it. But I have to negotiate that with my wife. But this is crazy. And it's a real contrast between the two companies. Who's the top dog out here? Wow.
What a piece of whatever, right? Now, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, Michael, for putting that together. Wasn't that amazing? How much space did they put between those exhibition booths? That's just insane. Contrast that to San Diego Comic-Con, right? 20-foot aisles, and it's just impossible. But that was pretty. The space between the DC and the Marvel exhibition spaces were just crazy. So yeah. But it's interesting that as many people know, I hope I'm going to be making a trip to Tokyo next August. So we'll see. But I thought it was neat to see that. Looking forward to potentially making the trip. I know my family, everybody's going to go. So if they're all going, I should be going as well. But thank you very much, Michael. And I will post the full video tomorrow on the channel, probably around 3 p.m.-ish will be the drop time. So yes, I agree. I'm actually finally going to see Black Panther tomorrow. So, I usually take like 2 or 3 weeks until, I feel like the crowds have died down enough. We're going to go at noon tomorrow, so we should probably be the only people in the show. And the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer dropped today. For those of you who weren't paying attention, it looked pretty good. And yesterday I just watched their Christmas special, which Maureen and my youngest daughter, Emma, didn't like. But, well, they didn't. It was a 50-50. I thought it was fine. But if you haven't watched that on Disney Plus, you should definitely check that out too. So, all right, let me go. We got a couple other things to do here before we get to the CAF update part of things. But first up is the Heritage Picks of the Week. And they had actually a pretty decent set of things going on over at Heritage this time around. I mean, they always do, of course, but this latest one was pretty nice. Let me switch a couple things around here and resize my screen a little bit. All right. So first up was this Ed McGuinness, Cam Smith, Superman page. And, I don't know why. I've been picking a lot of DC stuff lately, but I just thought this was crazy. The perspective on it is, it's only as McGuinness can do it, right? But his hands, I mean, literally, they are 5 times bigger than his head, practically. You put them together. I mean, that's just, can I even do that down here? It's not even, it's his arms are even further out than that. So anyway, it's an amazing image. I thought it was great. It has like an overlay for some extra little effects on I think the last panel to it, but yeah, I love the way Ed draws action, and he does a fantastic job here. Prefer his Hulk, I'd say. Maybe a thing versus Hulk like we saw in Chris's gallery from a few weeks back, that awesome DPS he got. All right, so then this is a Marshall Rogers Batman, probably convention sketch from '79. I just thought the darn thing was really nicely done, isn't it? I mean, he's got the silhouette over the villain there on the ground, and then silhouetting Batman above him too. I just thought that from the perspective on the piece to the way he just treated the shadows on this, the villains wearing black. I mean, I know you can look at it and say, wow, he probably did, he might not have taken a lot of time to put that together because there's so much, it's just so much black ink on it, right? But the thought involved to kind of pull that whole thing together, was well worth it no matter what. So this is a con sketch from '79, but very nice, really nicely done. Who doesn't like Marshall Rogers Batman? Doesn't matter if it's a con sketch or published piece. Then American Flag. I always love American Flag by Howard Chaykin. And never owned anything from him, but I'd love to get an interior sometime. And I just really like this piece. You get the little musical notes kind of running through it, but the standard cinematography feel that Howard always has with his artworks, just really nicely done. And he's using a little zip there, it looks like, as well. Then this one blew my mind. I mean, we saw that Gene Day piece in the Heritage recap recently, and then this is a DPS, a double page spread from Master of Kung Fu 118. I just love this thing, man. I mean, I love the panel layout in particular, and there's so many nice things going in here that this huge central panel going across both pages, all the characters in there along with the horses. And then the action layout is just so well done. I mean, it's you're reading it across the entire spread, and then the center panel, and then throughout the bottom here, and then breaking it up with that arm at the bottom right here. I mean, just great stuff here by Gene Day. I mean, this is amazing. I mean, I might end up throwing a bid or two on this one because it's so nice. And then we got a Gene Colan, Steve Leialoha, Howard the Duck page from what was it, issue 5. Leialoha links on Gene Colan. I mean, I'm sold. I've always loved Leialoha's inks pretty much on anybody, but him on Colan here with Howard, what a great page. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I mean, he kind of softens Gene's pencils a lot, right? But I like it, the way he kind of pulls it all together. So no, it's a very, very nice page here. Then there's a whole bunch of these, actually. I think 5 or 6 Tim Conrad Alien Counters pages. I didn't check to see if they're all from the same issue. This is from issue 4, page 7. But I always like Tim Conrad stuff. I mean, he's definitely a master illustrator, in my opinion. Probably somebody who's not thought of too much, but I mean, I've always loved his work. And I mean, just the way he's done the panel layout, this central panel here with the sky kind of bleeding into the top 3 panels, and then just this great little action bit at the end. She's getting taken away, and pretty much every single page from the set that is on Heritage, they were all good. I could have picked any of them, and I would have felt that they were worthy of being selected tonight. But yeah, this one's okay. Wes says they are all from the same issue, But yeah, they're all great. So if you're a fan of Tim Conrad's, definitely check these out. I mean, since there's so many of them, you'd think maybe one or two might go for a decent price. I mean, decent on the low side. You never know. But yeah, this one was probably my favorite of the bunch. But they're all really, really good. Let's see. Then I picked a DC page. Here you go. Sikowski and Giordano, Wonder Woman 192 splash. I think it was the title page too. No, it wasn't the title page, but it's just a splash. No Wonder Woman on it. I just love the illustration. Cool castle. Weird Skull is the entry point, or I don't even know. Are there people in there? Yeah, it looks like it. Either way, I thought this was just a really fun piece. It's got a skull on it. It's got a couple skulls on it, everybody. So Maureen will not let me own this one, but yeah, really, really nice piece. And when I saw the image, Wonder Woman was like furthest from my mind as far as what this might be from. But great imagery on this one here. And then this one, you can't go wrong. Sheldon Moldoff piece. You get the Penguin as well as Batman and Robin. I mean, I've never owned anything by Moldoff. Seen a lot of it at Mike's place, but this is a nice one. Definitely worthwhile picking that one up. And then I had to switch a little bit to something more modern. Everybody knows I love Allred. I like the storytelling in this one a lot. This is from Madman 3. So he's trying to pick the lock, and then and I did not read the issue, so I can't really tell you what's really going on there, but I thought it was fun. He's trying to pick the lock, and the guy opens it up anyway. So nicely done, as always, by Mr. Allred. And finally, this is a beautiful page. This is, let me see. Oh, okay, there we can zoom into it. You got Garcia Lopez and Joe Rubinstein, but it's such a nice Deadman page. You get Deadman in every single panel. I mean, I love this last image of him with a little bit of Zipatone on it. But man, I mean, Deadman as the character and their costume, just a really, really wonderful character from just a visual standpoint. But Lopez has just done a wonderful job with the way he's broken this whole the panels up, and even with him going through the frame of the page there at the top. And all of this is just really nice. So, but Garcia Lopez, of course, I mean, he can pretty much do no wrong. And I love that page as well. So there you go. You got my heritage picks. Now, one more thing to do before we do the CAF update is, we've mentioned it earlier, we have the EXP tomorrow with Nick Barucci. And we've got a few things going on there. Of course, it's kind of a benefit for cancer research. We've got some shirts donated, well, not donated, that are where the money is going to be going to his wife. And what we've got, latent pieces, a few cover recreations by Bob. That X-Men looks fantastic. He did an homage to Kirby on a Thor sketch. So a painted piece as well. So it's going to be a really, really good show. I'm going to be hanging out with Nick on that show. I can't say I'm co-hosting it because Nick's the king of that thing. I'll just be smiling and helping move the show along. It'll be 1 hour, starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow. And again, I hope everybody can tune into it. I'm going to send out another PR piece tomorrow, because I want to try to get everybody who follows us here on the Comic Art Live channel to hang out as well. Just 1 hour, 7 to 8 p.m. But it's something that I haven't done enough of as far on this channel, is doing things for fundraising. But this is a really worthy cause. Of course, I love George Perez's work, a fabulous man, and I think it's great that Nick's putting this together tomorrow, and I'm happy to be a part of it. So that'll be at 7 to 8. So let me give you a preview of what Nick will have available tomorrow.
Hey everybody, this Friday, December 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, we are going to have the Original Art Experience. Now, this show is going to be a little bit different with some extra special items on the air, and some of it is going to be for fundraising. Some of it is going to go earmarked to George Perez's wife. So we should start with that. So one of the items we'll have that we've never had before is Hawaiian t-shirts that Carol created for George that he wore over the years at conventions. Now, we've all seen George with the t-shirts. We all know how much a part of his great smile and presence these were. So when we offer these, we work this with Spencer Beck of the Artist Choice. When we offer these, the money from this is going to go to Carol. So it's going to help Carol Flynn, George's wife, and there couldn't be a better reason to do it. In addition to that, in honor of George, Bob Layton created some recreations of some of George's most famous covers, including JLA Avengers 4, X-Men 112, which I believe he inked over George back in the day, but I could be wrong, and New Teen Titans #1. The majority of the money raised, Bob is giving away to the Tower Cancer Research and to Lustgarten Pancreatic Cancer Research, which was really, really great of him. In addition to that, we are going to have some awesome Jim Starlin art, including Thanos versus Hulk. Check it out. And for some reason, because I'm disorganized, we've got 2 DC, a Marvel, yet somehow the other Thanos versus Hulk is at the bottom, not next to the other one. In addition to that, we're going to have Ron Garnier, one of my favorite artists, Ghost Rider, Wolverine 19, pages 15 and 16, as well as FF 606. I love seeing Ron Garnier pure pencils. He really is one of the best artists in the industry. Bob also created this commission of Thor and this Tales of Suspense recreation. And we may have a few other things, so we'll see how much we get through. And we're going to have a special guest on the show. Bill Cox of Comic Art Fans will be co-hosting the show with me this week, which is really awesome considering how much we're doing in George's name. So, and of course, the money that Bob donates from the recreations will also be in George's name. So, this Friday, December 2nd, 7 p.m. Eastern, on the Original Art Experience. And before you go, hit that thumbs up and share. Let your friends know. Have a great one, and I hope to see you Friday.
So I imagine most of those or all that stuff, like Nick usually does, are going to be set at fixed prices. A couple of those maybe could be done as auction pieces, Nick. You never know. But it's your show. Handle it however you like. But you never, a few of those pieces I think will be pretty sought after. But we shall see. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow, 7 o'clock. I'll be there. I'll be on the screen hanging out, and I hope everyone here can make it as well if you're free on a Friday night, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Let's see. Before I actually get started, this is going to sound crazy, but remember the last time I did a giveaway? I think it was about 3 weeks ago. Could have been 4 weeks ago. And I gave away 4 Dueling Dealers hats that night, and we drew the winners. And I told everybody to email me. Not one of those people emailed me, so I'm going to give them one last chance. I'm going to remind them if they're here. Let's see. We got Chuck Arnold, Larry Tan, Chris Lutz, and Octavio D. If you guys don't email me, I'm going to have to trust me, I've got plenty of hats to give away, but I just realized that the other day that nobody emailed me after I did the giveaway. I think it was a month ago. So there you have it. If you're in the audience, shoot me an email. Chuck, there you are. See, you forgot. So no, I don't have a giveaway tonight. No, I don't have it. There's no giveaway open at the moment. I'll tell you what, I'll do one next week, but I want to get these 4 hats taken care of. So, Rick Walsh wants a Dueling Dealers belt buckle. I can't say we're ever going to have one of those, Rick, but we'll see. All right, so let me move on to the CAF update side of things, and we'll get things started with that. So, of course, this is going over the Thanksgiving holiday, covers the period November 21st through the 27th, and it was a pretty average week for both dealers and auction houses. eBay actually did really well. More high sales than we've seen from them in a while, but nothing like, well, here, let's just get to it. We'll do the dealers first. So dealers last week sold about $340,000, and for this week, $245,000. So it's a drop. It's a holiday, so I kind of expected it to be a little less, but about $100,000 less in sales than the week before. I actually got a lot of emails, I think 3 emails from people wondering why I didn't include a lot of the other dealers that were doing holiday sales, because somebody asked, well, where's Cadence's numbers in there? And of course, I can only report on dealers whose sites I host. But it's true. There were a lot of sales going on last week, and it would have been interesting to see sales figures from people like Cadence. What was it? Essential Sequential had a really big sale going on over the weekend into Cyber Monday. So, but I don't host either of those guys' sites, so I can't report on their sales. But as far as that 245, Albert pretty much dominated the whole thing. He had 101,000 in sales. Anthony, 35,000 in sales. Felix had 30. Mostly from a complete issue sale. Panel Page had 26. Berkey had about 23, and Will had about 20. Then everybody else was almost at nil. So it was basically those 6 dealers that made up the majority of the sales. So the highest sale of the week from the dealers, and I'll start highlighting it right here, was that complete issue, Do a Power Bomb issue 5 by Daniel Warren Johnson. Complete issue sold for $30,000 by Felix Comic Art, and this was the cover to that. Very nicely done. I picked a piece of DWJ art to feature in the show today. Then next up, this was sold by Glenn. Johnny Craig is the artist on this one. It is the splash to Iron Man 3. He sold this for the asking price of $18,500. And we got Albert Moy selling some more Jim Lee Scott Williams. This was Batman Hush 20th Anniversary Interior Pages, page 5, splash page, $18,000 was the price on that one. Then Chris Snork would love this one. A Joe Kubert Showcase Comics 103 cover from 1978 with Hawkman all over it. Asking price $14,000 by Will's Comic Art Page. And we've got another interior page from that same issue by Jim Lee Scott Williams, sold by Albert, $12,000 on this one. And last but not least, another page from that issue. This is page 2 from it. This one sold by Albert for the asking price of $10,000. So there you have the top 6 sales from dealers last week. Now, auction houses did just about average. I mean, $374,000 in sales. Can't really compare it to the week before because the signature auction from Heritage, where we had $9 million in sales that week. So 374 is a pretty solid one. 246 of that was from eBay, and they usually don't cross over that 200,000 mark week to week, as everybody knows. So for them to hit almost 250 is pretty solid. But again, not any real major pieces in there. I will show you the top 3 from eBay and the top 3 from Heritage Weekly. And the first one, this one is Kale. What is it? I don't mean NGU new. It's a Wonder Woman commission. They listed it at $10,000, but it was bought with a make offer for $1,400. So yeah, somebody was really fishing on that one, and but the seller was happy to take about 14% of the asking price. So then we have a Joe Jusko Dark Phoenix oil painting, really nice. This one sold for $6,000. And last from eBay was this unfinished prelim by Bernie Wrightson of Universal Monsters, and this one sold for $4,850. I would love to have seen that thing finished. Then over to Heritage on their weekly, 128,000 sales from them. This first piece is a John Byrne, Jim Mooney Amazing Spider-Man page from issue 190. This one sold for $5,640. Then we have a John Buscema, Tony DeZuniga, and Joe Rubenstein and Neil Adams also get credit on this Tarzan page, $4,560 for that one. And finally, a Berkey Breathed Bloom County daily from June 22nd, 1988. This one sold for $4,320. And I don't know if I got that name right. I never knew. Is it Berkey? I don't know. Hey, I'm sure somebody in the chat can tell me the right way to pronounce it, but it is what it is. I agree on the price there, Nick. That's true. So, but Dino, nice details on the Wonder Woman. Absolutely. I wasn't familiar with the artist, and I did a couple checks on other pieces that they had done. The artwork by them is by Kale is fantastic. It was breathed like method. Okay, breathed. Okay, hey, you got me, Chuck. Killer Tarzan page. I agree, Rick. Let's see where we want to go. We're going over to popular artwork. And I have a guest selector with me today, and they've been in the green room checking out the show. So I'm going to bring Mr. Andy Fish in here. Just let me get this one thing turned around. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Bill. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Oh, perfect. Great show so far. I love that Frank Robbins flip. That was so amazing.
Wasn't it? I would love to see that portfolio. I mean, that artwork was, those first couple pages where he didn't have any panels, they were fantastic.
Insane. I'm a big Shadow fan, so and Frank Robbins, so yeah, that was killer. And you cost me money while I'm watching the show. I'm over there at Heritage bidding because I'm like, this is crazy. These are too cheap.
Yeah, I know. Well, ever since I started doing the 10 Heritage picks, I've started bidding over. I never used to bid on Heritage stuff. I don't know why, but now that I'm doing the picks and I'm actually seeing the art that they have over there, I haven't won anything yet, but I have driven the price up on a few things.
Yeah, I just
really
did.
wanted.
So yeah, exactly. Hey, everybody, thank you for saying hello. Nice to be here.
Yeah, you were just on recently, but
I was, and it was a great time. So I'm back.
Yeah, well, listen, thank you so much. I guess I wasn't expecting a remarked version of this, so it was very nice. I mean,
happy to do it.
Look at that. Look
Yeah,
at
that was a fun one. I'm glad you got that one. My sons handled all the shipping on the books.
So, this, because I remember when I saw it, it didn't have. It said a different fish, didn't it?
Yeah, that's my son, a Super World. So,
that's right. All right. Did you show them the cards?
I did. Yeah, they were hysterical over it. They thought it was great. So thanks for that. Really appreciate it.
No. Hey, trust me. I'm glad. I was reserving that for the right person. I think I sent it to the right people.
Absolutely. It's going to a good home. Well enjoyed.
So the back wall behind you, man. This is not where you were at when we did this before.
We're in my space now.
Look at that. I've got to make it full screen so I can see. So you got some movie posters on there.
What's that?
Yeah. You got it looks like a movie poster or two, maybe.
Yep.
Or
so there's a serial poster for Batman, a movie that never was made called The Fighting General and the Phantom. It was Columbia's 1943 output, and then right here is the Lewis Wilson Batman cowl from that serial. So yeah, just all kinds of stuff. This place is Pee-wee's Funhouse. And actually, Veronica, who she goes crazy because she says it's too crowded up here sometimes. She spent the whole day up here. So, and I wasn't here for most of it. So.
I was gonna say, was she cleaning or was she just no?
No, oh God, no, she wouldn't clean. Although she did offer. Ron, it is a Ben Cooper Spidey mask behind me. That was my favorite one. There's a Ben Cooper Batman mask too. I actually do some work for Ben Cooper. So.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they're back. I don't know if everybody knows that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yep, they have returned.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, now we've got a window into your office space, I think. And
this is only half. There's another half. So.
Dang. I know. It's just like Mike just said, my wall is naked. Yeah, I have some work to do in here. I think I just have to start hanging some things. I'll paint it another time.
Yeah. That's the best way to do it. These walls here, Bill, are pink, and I didn't paint them pink.
Okay.
So I just figured, hey, just fill them up. We assume it was a girl's bedroom or something because the walls, it was like a warm pink, maybe salmon if you want to be fancy, but
sure.
I didn't want to bother. So
you just went for it and hung everything over it. No, it looks good.
Yeah, and there's a Frank Robbins piece hanging up just a little bit above my head.
Oh yeah, what is it? A shadow piece or what?
No, it's a Johnny Hazard daily.
Oh, sweet.
So, yeah, I think it's in my calf gallery. I'm going to update the calf gallery this week. I'm going to go crazy.
Oh yeah, what do you've picked up some new art or stuff that you haven't?
I've got art all over the place that I've neglected to add. So I'm going to make some time and get it done. I'm always on a deadline. It's a constant deadline chase here. So
but you're always at your scanner then, so you could be scanning.
Yep, you're right. Veronica handles all the scanning, so I have to give her the pile. It's down in her studio. So.
Oh. Yeah, I've got Maureen gave me. Well, yeah, she's given me some art I have to scan for her now too. So, let's look at some art. I mean, you've got some good picks this week, You did pick one piece of art for sale. We usually don't pick pieces.
Oh,
art,
okay, all right.
but that's
So
okay because it was somebody whose artwork I really like. So I
okay,
was like,
you and
you know what?
Chris, doing this, you guys make it look easy. It's hard
Oh no, it's
because
not, it isn't
like
easy.
like 2 days in, I had 8 picks. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a breeze. And then by the end of the time, I had 42 picks, and I had to whittle it back down. So,
Well, you picked some that I would have picked as well. So
oh, good. Well, that's good.
Let's get this thing here.
Yep,
Try to make
this
it as
one.
full screen
thought-
as I can.
I thought this was really a great piece. I love the simplicity of it. It's a variant cover. I love simple design. I'm a big Alex Toth fan, and this kind of has that feel to it. I just thought it was fantastic. Beautifully
yeah, no,
done.
that's-
The zipatone, just love it.
The spider is very realistic. I have to say, when I had the thing open, I
Yeah.
had it covered, and then I moved something off my screen, and then I looked over and I thought there was a spider coming
Oh,
down.
that's great.
It
That is
it
great.
really is well done. But yeah, no, this is one that I would have picked too.
Yeah.
Just so nice. This storytelling, Spider-Man being like a peeping Tom, whatever he's doing, I don't know, but I like it. I really enjoyed it, and I didn't think Toth, but now that you've said that, I should have thought Toth immediately. I mean, just fun, kind of noirish feel to it, thanks to the blinds and everything.
Yeah, and my favorite version of Spider-Man outside of the comics is the Japanese TV show.
Uh-huh.
And it has
Really?
a very distinct look to the mask, and this kind of fit that. It has the more narrow eyes. I don't
Mhm.
like the big McFarlane eyes. I like the Ditko style eyes.
Okay.
So
And let's see, artist on this one, Jorge
Fornes.
Fornes.
Yep.
All right, this was from 2018. Whose calf was this? Sean. Yeah, that was an interesting one. I know I've never featured anything by Sean because he's got a space between all his letters. So when I was copying his name, hey, Marcus always gets a good comment on there.
He
But yeah,
does. He's great.
yeah, Scott Wingo says McFarlane's overrated.
Yeah, no comment. I think he's a nice guy, and I like him. But yeah, his art's not my thing. I don't
Yeah.
like extra lines. I like Toth. I like simpler line.
Mm-hmm. Nope, this is a good one. I got that like on that one. So then next up, a Ray Cuthbert piece. This one is one I would have definitely picked. Chris Kohler, Johnny Craig layouts. I love the lighting on this, but I assume that's probably part of the thing for you too.
It's beautiful. The lighting is amazing. The ink work is amazing. The lettering is amazing. The figures are amazing. Everything about this. If I own this, I don't think I'd get anything done because I'd be staring at this thing 24/7. I think it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
And
I agree. The bartender, right? I mean,
Yep.
he's almost the most interesting thing there. I mean, at least I see him first, and then I move over to
Yeah.
the characters in the foreground after that.
Yeah.
But I love this page. I mean, it's
So great.
amazing the amount of work and detail into this, and then it's got that strip feel with the 3 panels at the bottom. I mean,
Yep.
I love everything about this page.
Yeah, it's just beautiful, beautiful piece.
Let's see. Well, and Ray. I haven't. It seems like I miss a lot of Ray's updates on the site, but this was definitely a beautiful one.
Well, what was great about doing this is it really got me to check CAF every single morning.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't realize how much amazing art is coming in, and you can miss something, in the blink of an eye, because I'd check it again. I checked something that night, and there were 3 other pieces that I mean, you could easily pick 200 pieces in a 6-day span. It just blows me away the amount of incredible work that goes up on this site.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of criminal that so much great artwork goes up there, and a lot of it gets missed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I don't know. We need to have a better discovery method on CAF. Things that are trending. Because sometimes I think a lot of great work does get lost. Like Mikhail had mentioned that that Miller Dark Knight cover. I didn't even know it was posted yesterday.
I didn't see it either.
I mean, and I probably would have missed it until I sat down this weekend to start looking at picks for next week. But
Right.
still, I mean, that's a piece you shouldn't miss, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
as a piece of history, I mean, I think that stuff we can definitely do a better job of kind of finding those gems out there. But yeah, this is a gorgeous piece. Let's see, and then I know this was let's see what we got. Peach Momoko on this one in Todd's Calf Gallery.
So this one was an interesting pick because this is going to display my ignorance about superheroes. I didn't know who this was. I thought this was that G.I. Joe character who I don't know who that is either. But we're actually friends with Peach and her husband, and they're the sweetest people in the world. We got to hang out with them for almost a whole day at New York. Veronica talked Japanese, and I embarrassed myself with my horrible Japanese. But they're just the nicest people. And I think her work, the best of her work is really incredible. I do think she's a little, she's getting a little overplayed. There's a lot of her work out there now, but when she really nails it, it's stunning. And this one really struck me. And I looked it up, and this is Domino from X-Force, which I actually read X-Force. How do I not remember this character? But I'm not shocked. I can't remember what I had for breakfast. So,
it happens to us all, Andy.
Yeah.
That's what we get. But no, I agree. I love Peach's work as well. And and you're right. There's a lot of her work out there, but you kind of strike when the iron's hot, right? I mean, you kind of, I don't know. She's high in demand, right? She's doing a lot of variant covers, and she's kind of earned it. I mean, she's just she's a fan favorite. She's super sought after by fans and those publishers and guys who want to do variant covers. So, hey, I would have liked to have watched you try, butchering your Japanese. Though.
Oh, it's embarrassing. Yeah, it's really bad. But they're so polite. I love when they try to react like it's not that bad, and then eventually at some point they just go, how about if we switch to English? Because it's that bad.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I think somebody mentioned earlier she was at the Tokyo show as well. I think I saw a picture of her. I didn't see her in the video, but I know that somebody sent me a photograph of her.
I don't know how she gets any work done. She does so many shows.
She's got to work like on the planes. I mean, because you're right, she does do a lot of shows.
That's what happens when your husband is your manager, right? You just work 24/7, I guess.
Don't talk to Maureen. She'll tell you that I'm always trying to squeeze more work out of her. So that's
Veronica's going to say the same thing. So
yeah, well, that's it's how we put food on the table, right? You gotta. So no, I totally get it. She's but again, this is a great piece, very fun, very whimsical, and
it just captures the right moment. You really feel like it was a snapshot.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then we'll switch over to a CAF member's name is Horror Fan, and we got a Kirby Sandman piece with Royer inks.
Now, I think Sandman is probably my least favorite of all of Kirby's 70s DC stuff, but I love Royer's inks on Kirby. The Demon is my favorite Kirby thing, probably of all time. I think it even tops the Fantastic Four for me. This page really spoke to me. It has so much of what makes Kirby Royer so great. So I really love this one. This is just so nicely done. So rich, it's so full, so imaginative. It's so great to see the lettering on the page too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mike is the man. Mike Royer is really something else. Hey to my son Adam, who's in the chat. Nice of him to see what his poppy is doing.
Yeah, no, I like this page as well. I picked a different Kirby page myself this time around, but
I'm betting you picked the other one that's in my list of 42 that when I had to balance them out.
But yeah, Sandman, I mean, for me, I was always kind of, I didn't like the story very well, but again, it's Kirby Royer, and this is really, really nicely done.
Yeah, I mean, if I could read OMAC, which was out there too, I just love the craziness of this period. Let Kirby go, and I think the result is really something. And kind of like Frank Robbins, I didn't appreciate Kirby when I was a kid. I thought he drew blocky hands. I thought he drew ugly women. I just didn't like his art. And then something snapped, and I realized he's the king. There's nobody like him. He's the best.
No, I completely agree. But yeah, I mean, I've said it many times. I never got Kirby as a young comic book reader. Yeah, I always thought to myself, why is this old guy still drawing comics?
Yeah, right.
And I didn't know a lot about him, but I just, from whatever I was reading, I knew it's like, gosh, this guy's, he's not drawing like John Byrne or George
Yeah.
Perez.
Yeah.
He's not, what's he doing? But yeah, you look at this, it's amazing. All right, now this was the piece that was for sale, everybody. Javier Fernandez, but it's a great piece. So I saw it and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna let it go, because I think this is in Javi's CAF gallery too. He maintains his own gallery here on the site, but really, I love this piece.
Well, I didn't notice that it was for sale. I'm probably going to buy it.
I don't know if it had a price on it. It just says, he has the email address written in there.
Yeah.
Because and the funny thing was, the other reason why I was actually emailing with Javi last weekend about something about CAF, and so when I saw this too, I thought, well, it's fitting that I literally was just emailing with him, and he picked a piece, and so I thought, no, I got to keep it.
Well, what's great about this is it's the Bronze Age Batman. So he's got the black face front, which is my second favorite version of the character, and then the thwack. That is so Adam West 60s Batman, and he just owns it. He doesn't care. He does it in a way that is both an homage and a thing upon itself to that pow bam zing version of Batman that all of us serious fans can't stand, and it just works. I love the little kid's face, the movement, the blacks, the textures. It's just a really strong piece.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love the shadow play at the bottom. I mean, just around here, it's a really nice page, and I thought the lettering, the way it was done, with with not using them to block out the character behind him. I mean, it's just I'd love to see how they colored it, because
I was just going to say that exact same thing.
Yeah, because it's so interesting. You just don't normally see that. Either it's behind the character or it's covering them, and it's not doing either. So.
There's a 50-50 chance the colorist screwed this thing up, but I'm really dying to see it. And I'll be honest with you, this whole one bad day thing confuses the hell out of me. I feel like every character has a one bad day story. It's like a recurring theme. I don't understand it. I have a hard time reading modern comics. I walk into a comic book store, I leave with a headache because there's way too many things. So I'll never be able to find this, but I'd love to see the color version.
Yeah, good point, CJ. Blacks balance the page perfectly. It does.
It really does, yeah. It's lightly inked. It's the line is a little bit more delicate than I would normally gravitate towards, but it's just beautifully done.
Good. I like on that one. So there we have that. So Javi's, definitely check out Javi's CAF gallery. And then we've got, like on this one, a P. Craig Russell Hellboy. I mean, it's P. Craig Russell immediately, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a master. I'm a gigantic fan of P. Craig Russell. I've been a member of the New York Metropolitan Opera for probably 25 years. And he did an opera book a few years ago, and I thought that was pretty amazing. So we have a real connection in that regard. I only like classic opera. It's beautiful. It captures the Mignola style, but it ups it. It takes it up to a different level because it's P. Craig Russell. He just can't do anything wrong. I think he inked Mignola on the Gotham by Gaslight series, if I'm not mistaken, and I loved what he did there. Just beautiful work. The textures, the backgrounds, the whatever those imp things are, the eyeballs in the flowers, the leaves, just everything is just absolutely gorgeous. And it's 2022. This guy is still killing it. That amazes me. I don't know how old P. Craig Russell is, but he's got to be, in retirement era,
he's got right. I mean, he was around. I've seen photos of him hanging out with Wrightson in the early 70s, and he looked pretty young then. But yeah, he's got to be early 70s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, old enough that he should probably be slowing down a little bit, and this doesn't look like he's slowing down at all.
No, no, not at all. Not at all.
So this brings it. This one was my home run. I really love this one.
Yeah, no, this is great. This would have been one of my picks too. I love P. Craig Russell. So, and I think on his website he had a lot of sales going on over the weekend as well.
Oh, really?
So if you're subscribed to his mailing list,
Okay.
Yeah, they're always they announce their art drops there. They don't do many of them. I mean, he's mostly selling his books and things, but probably like every quarter he does a small art drop.
Oh,
So
cool.
it's
Yeah,
always
check
fun to check
out.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah, you did a nice heads up over the Black Friday holiday saying that a couple of the art dealers were having things. So I didn't know about it. So I jumped over, and that's fantastic. I'm glad that resource is here for us,
No, I agree. I mean, I try to keep up with most of that stuff. I probably missed many of them because I think there were a few that I omitted, but I mean, we try. So this is in Kevin Sharp's Calf Gallery, my good friend Kevin. So this is a Brian. Is it Thies?
I was going to go with these, but
Yeah, Thies. Okay,
I
you
can
got
go
it.
either way. So Adam Strange is a character I don't know a single thing about, but this looks like a Virgil Finlay illustration to me. This looks like a 30. It could have popped off a 30s or a 40s pulp. I think it's gorgeous. I love the use of the negative space. I love the way he dropped the space area there in a triangle. Just keeps it so modern and futuristic. And the figure work is absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. This one's a home run. Yeah, it does have kind of a Steve Rude feel to it as well. But the shadow is so complex. He's got a real 3D element here in terms of capturing shadow. That's difficult. We're gonna take a point off for trigger safety. Never keep your finger on the trigger, kids. That's okay.
Well, I would have to agree with you on the way he's handled doing the shading there. I mean, just on the arm alone, it's funny. It's like he hasn't really given you much in a way of musculature, but we don't need it, And he's just handling the lights and darks really, really incredibly. I mean, I love that. And then into the costume here. I mean,
the wrinkles.
The wrinkles feel real.
Yep.
So yeah.
I think that's my biggest complaint about superhero comics. I don't like characters to look like they have a painted on suit. I like it when it looks like they're actually in some kind of a costume. It's one of the things I liked about Darwin Cook's work so much.
Mm-hmm.
His characters always had wrinkles. It's why I like the golden age of comics. They tended to make their characters look a little bit more like they're wearing, hoodie pajamas instead of skin tight, kind of strange looking body paint. So I really dig this. I thought this was just beautifully done.
Yeah, no, the lighting's great on. I mean, the shadow, from his whatever mohawky visor thing. Again, I don't know the character either, but it's really well thought out.
And just the abstract face. I love that it doesn't have a lot of detail, but yet it's very unique. And it just fits the style of the piece. Like I said, very Virgil Finlay.
Very nice there. So Kevin Sharp got a great eye. And hey, Mikhail actually sent me the colored version of that page we were looking at by.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll look at. Oh, hey, you know what? Not bad.
That is actually pretty good. I mean, I like the fact
pretty
that, and actually, it's really well done.
Yep.
You feel the pain, I think, by doing that, changing the color of the characters within the lettering.
Yep.
So yeah,
it works.
It really does work.
Thumbs up on that one.
Thank you, Mikhail, for sending that.
That's great. What a great resource this place is.
Well, it's funny. A lot of people, but being how being the artist, I can see why he didn't post it. But a lot of collectors probably would have posted the color version just so we could kind of contrast the two.
Right.
But very nice. But so this is a great selection. I did not see this one until you sent me your list. Okay, so this is in Neon Dragons Calf Gallery, and let me get the like on this one by Bob Fujitani.
Yep, Bob Fujitani was a Golden Age artist. I'm a sucker for Golden Age comics. Not a big Green Hornet fan, but he's a good character. But these giant Golden Age pages just really appeal to me. I love the caricature of the characters. I love the rich blacks. I love the shadow. I love the film noirish. Yep, cast
Yeah.
right there. Everything about the Golden Age when it was really when the work was on fire, it was amazing. There's a lot of bad art in the Golden Age, but there's just so much really amazing stuff. Look at that face in the middle there.
Yeah.
I know Maureen's going to tell you to take that down and get rid of it, but
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to
amazing.
display this one in the house, but
Nope.
oh, I love it. I'm the same. I feel the same way. I mean, that middle panel at the bottom, and then this panel here, where at the whether they're bedding or I don't know what this is, but the shadow on the wall to the floor. I mean, it's gorgeous. Even this. I mean, the way he's kind of split the panel here with this little bubble and the character on the roof.
Yeah, I think the thing I liked about Golden Age comics is like you got 64 pages for a dime. It took you a little while to read it. They were dense. They were like reading Moby Dick. It wasn't a 4-minute experience like reading a modern comic today.
No, I really like this one, and I was not familiar with the artist. I'm gonna.
Yeah, he's been well. I mean, he was around for a long time. He was
a lot. Well, here you go. There's 78 pieces of art on Cap,
and all of his work. He gets overshadowed, but yeah, he's one of the top artists. Always worked. Yeah, just great stuff. That's got a Lou Fine feel to it.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, I'm gonna set this one aside so I can look at it later. So let's see. We'll move over to Jaime Hernandez. So let me get this here. So it's a cover. What do we got from 1991?
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, again, going back to the Toth thing, I like simple line. I love good light and shadow. It looks simple, but like that Rogers piece that you showed, it's actually, as an artist, it's complicated to put the elements together to know where the black is going to fall and the white is going to fall so you can make it work. I'm a crazy anti-Nazi smoker or anti-smoking Nazi kind of guy. I'd throw water in your face if you smoke near me, but I can look the other way on this because it adds so much to the piece. I love everything about this. And I'm a big fan of both the Hernandez brothers, but Jaime is my favorite. I hope they don't hear this because I like them both as people. But just his work, it's a little bit cleaner. It's got a little less of a scratchy style to it, and just trying to get art to that one line is so difficult. And that's what Toth was always talking about, that he wanted to find the single line that represents 100 lines. And that's what this is. You pare it down to the most basic shapes, and then he's got some pattern in there that really emphasize things. The pants pattern is great. The desk pattern is great. Just everything about it. I love this. Although, I mean, the amount of smoke coming off that cigarette is pretty. I think there's a problem.
It is, but
it's artistic license, so we're gonna.
Right. Well, the lamp is illuminating it. I guess.
Maybe the lamp's on fire. Yeah,
it may be.
But I still love the piece. I think it's great. And I was a big fan of Love and Rockets back in junior high school. I thought it was cool that a comic book was, edgy and cool, and you didn't have to be embarrassed taking it on the school bus.
Yeah. No, this is a gorgeous piece. Yeah. Oh, I didn't look at. Oh, there you go. Published cover too. Just say, yeah.
I mean, the color helps it. I like it better in black and white.
Oh yeah.
The coloring is as it's needed, but it's like when he did Mr. X. That was one of my favorite things ever, and I just wish they would do an artist edition of that.
Yeah, really, I love this too. Well, I mean, good pick, and this is another one that I did not see when I was going through my picks. One more here for you, and we'll get the like on that one. And whose calf gallery are we in here? Oh, Sean Irwin. All right.
So this one was a late pick. It came in, and I love the sequential nature of it. I love the comedy to it. I thought it was. I'm woefully ignorant about the Sandman universe. I have all the volumes. I just haven't read them yet, but I will. I know how great they are. this page really spoke to me. It's got great faces. I love the interaction between the brothers. You can stay here for the night, and he says, "I'd rather be boiled alive." I just, perfect Thanksgiving level, conversation. And it's just it's a fun piece. It's a nice piece. I love the blacks, the faces in the last panel.
Oh yeah.
And the way that sequentially we move them out of the room, and then they're coming out onto the porch, and the last two panels just flow together so well. The lighting is great. The expressions are great, and the expression on the dragon is amazing. So I really dug this piece. This really this edged out some other pieces that I had picked.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Which
great.
I suspect will be in some of your picks. I'm curious to see what you have.
Well, hopefully they hold up to yours. But yeah, the texture on the dragon, the texture on his coat, the wood grain. I mean, there's just a lot of nice stuff going on in here. The reflection in the window, treated a little differently. It's just very, very nice. But all about like you said, it's really about their expressions on their faces, and he's done an amazing job on this piece.
And the body language, it's so it's a little over the top. Rocky said, "No Veronica Fish art, fail." That's funny.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. Can't. So this one here, I almost didn't pick because the artist name is Peter. Is it Snyberg or is it Snedgeberg?
I don't even want to try it.
That's a tough one. And I know Chris last week said sometimes he doesn't pick art because he doesn't want to be embarrassed. I don't care about being embarrassed. I'm happy I can barely pronounce Bill Cox, so I'm not worried about
well, we can't all have names like Andy Fish. I mean,
that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But I guess, we're pretty close there, I guess. But so yeah, Peter Snedgeberg, I have no idea. That's what
Marcus says Snyberg. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you ever go to IKEA and you want to get a cabinet, it's a Schnockelborg, it's not easy. They have a lot of extra letters they like to use in their names.
Well,
cool. All right,
that's a
cool.
good piece to round out. What did Adam say? He did work on Books of Magic and else World Batman Story. Okay,
cool. He's a good artist. I
know I've seen his art on CAF a lot, but I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, perfect 10 picks, I'd say there, Andy. You did pretty good for your first time out. Now you know the work involved.
Oh, it's tough. It's hard. I don't know how you do it.
Well, it's a labor of love to get all these in here. So let's see. Let me switch screens over to mine. And let's see, get that. Yeah, see, I'm a little bit more traditional on my picks. So this one's in Comic Art Boston's CAF Gallery, and it just, as far as an image of Superman, I mean, it's to me, it's John Byrne, so you can't go wrong with that. Yeah. But I just thought this was one of the most classic images, at least for me, of Superman, and so I couldn't pass it up. It's just stunning. Comic Art Boston is a regular in the chat. I know he was here earlier, but yeah, he has a really great collection on CAF, and then to see a piece like this just blows my mind. I mean, everything about this, the way the cape is drawn, I mean, the composition of the page is just stunning. I mean, everything, and I remember when I first pulled up the image, when you load stuff up on CAF, right? It's like this, and I'm scrolling down. I'm like, he drew the feet, right? He didn't cover up with rocks. Yes, all right. He drew the feet. It's like, all right, everything about this image is perfect. No corners were cut, right? I mean, it's just the word balloons are perfectly placed. Remember,
it's Byrne at his best. No question. Byrne loves Superman loves Superman. He's still with us. And that's clear from that. It also has a very both Fleischer brothers and George Reeves kind of feel to the pose. So it definitely harkens back to an iconic Superman. I know for a fact that Byrne's favorite Superman is George Reeves. So.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I didn't know that. But yeah, this is I had to pick it when I was just going through the list. I was like,
that's a great pick.
This one I had to go with. So congrats to Comic Art Boston on this one, and Dick Giordano Inks on this one. Good choice. I mean, it kind of gives it takes a little bit of the Byrne edge off of it, and but I think again, really nicely done. So
has Giordano ever done a bad inking job? I don't think so.
No, I can't say that I've seen anything bad either. I mean, I was thinking about that the other day because we've had a lot of conversations about continuity in Neil's studio and everything, and I just wonder. I mean, he's seen a lot of weird art in his time. I mean, all the DC artwork he's drawn. I forget what there was a piece I was looking at today, and it made me think. I wonder what Dick thought about that piece when it crossed his desk. God, what the heck was it? It was like an Eggman was on it, and I'm thinking, this is so goofy DC, and I'm thinking Dick Giordano had to have drawn a lot of goofy characters, like an egg-shaped person,
Yeah.
you know. And what's that like? What was it like for a guy to have to just, I mean, again, I know he loved DC work, I mean,
Yep.
but still, it's like, if I was him, I would have been scratching my head sometimes at
Yeah.
some of these pages coming across his desk.
Did you ever get to talk to him?
No, I didn't, but I'd seen him a few times. It was really early. I mean, I forget when he passed. It was what, in the mid 2000s? I think the
Yeah.
last, it might have been like 05 or 06 when the one time I saw him at a show, but I was still too, I was nobody. I didn't want to approach him, but it was cool. I remember looking at the artwork he had on his table. I think Perez was there. They were posing for photos. I think I got a picture of him with Perez. So it's just neat to see them interacting together and to get to hear him talk a little bit, but I never got to speak to him.
Well, he had the best sense of humor and the biggest laugh of anybody. He was a really great guy.
Well, hopefully there's some videos out there. That would be, I'd love to see some interviews with him. I'm sure there's got to be several. Let's see this next pick. This was in Mikhail's calf gallery. I picked it. It's just a great homage to Steranko Hulk, of course, but just, I don't know. It's one of those classic images. We got to see this in the Marvel exhibit when it was in Columbus. I mean, the original Steranko, and it's so you see that, and then to see something that's really well done as an homage. I mean, I think it's fun. I mean, there's enough subtle differences in the way the logo's treated, but I mean, I love Daniel Warren Johnson anyway, but just this, I don't know. I look at it now and I just love it. I love the way the logo is drawn out. I mean, just it's really cracking, and the way he handles the ink work on pretty much on anything he does is just amazing. And I think that this is just a beauty. And I could tell that Mikhail, I think he posted this on Thanksgiving, and he was expressing how thankful he was that he got this piece. And I always like a good story too. So just great art, great story, and this is a really wonderful piece.
Well, I love Johnson's work, and I actually had this one as one to think about. But to play to Marcus, like not picking Veronica, I tried not to pick people that I actually know or know well enough that I feel like I'm showing some favoritism. Mm-hmm. So I took points off if I knew you. But yeah, this is a great piece.
Yeah, that's I didn't give the whole story, but yes, Mikhail mentions this. It was a gift from a fellow CAF member from Canada, and nice. I think he even stated that that's why Canadians are so nice. So yeah, that's amazing, Mikhail. I mean, it really, really is such a great story, great piece of art, and this is a nice addition to your CAF gallery for sure. Nope, I won't look at the color piece, but let's see, what do we got next? Oh, look, Adam Strange.
Nice, look at that.
So a Kevin Nolan piece. I mean, we had Kevin on during Comic Art Live.
He's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved his work, but I saw this piece, and really the thing that sold me on it was really the composition between the two characters. I mean, it's just an interesting layout, and then you have these other creatures around it, but yeah, I love the way he's kind of got this flow going through this piece. I mean, it's just stunning, and I know I can look a little bit closer. I just thought the way he's I mean, it's typical Nolan with the way he's inked the character here. I mean, just real subtle stuff going on there, but even in the faces, I don't know. This is just a great piece of art.
Yeah, it is. It's a knockout. It's stunning. The characters are wild. I love Nolan's work. I know you just had him on. I watched the show. I really enjoyed it. The thing with Nolan, it's like Giordano. I've never seen a bad piece. From his stuff on the animated series to his inking work to his penciling work. I mean, this guy is a major talent.
Oh yeah, without question. But yeah, this is a beautiful image here. And Kevin, you're in the audience. I didn't see you earlier, but he said, "Oh, nice ice cream cone, Kevin." It was always fun seeing which two characters would show up in the Secret Origin series. That is true.
Yeah, that was a fun series. You're right.
Yeah, that's a nice one right there. And Ron Sonnenthal's Calf Gallery, another Calf Gallery. If you haven't checked out Ron's Calf Gallery, it's stunning. He's got a great eye and a wonderful collection of art on Calf. Swinging over here, so something a little different. Andy Kubert and what do we got? Matthew Ryan inks. This one, again, it's back to the composition. I feel like this is like it's like a McFarlane approach to panels, right? He loved doing those 4 super long vertical panels, and then I just love that kind of wraparound feel with at the bottom there with the figure. And then just looking at the rich blacks on this piece. I mean, I almost don't care what it's from, even though I know it's X-Men and I love X-Men. I just thought this thing was just a gorgeous work of art. I mean, I love it. I mean, everything. I'm looking at it now, and I was like, I wish I owned this pice of art. It's just so well
beautiful.
done.
It's absolutely beautiful. I go back and forth between Andy and Adam, who I like more. It's like each one outdoes the other, and it's amazing they were able to take their father's influence, but then come into their own, which is nice. And it's nice that they wanted to do this after seeing, what he went through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if my dad was a comic book artist, if I'd want to do this job,
Well, he had, I mean, obviously doing the Kubert School and everything, he certainly had a different approach than other illustrators. I mean, he wanted to share his knowledge. I mean, so he probably, I don't know, his kids probably just kind of took that in, right? And he had a super appreciation for his own work. I know that, he kept a lot of it for a very long time. So yeah, just a pretty unique guy. But you're right. I mean, and I kind of go between brothers too. I don't really have a favorite. I know a lot of people, if they either really like Andy or they really like Adam, it seems. But yeah, this page is just, I mean, again, the inking on this one is just so nice.
I absolutely would have picked this one if I'd seen it. I didn't see this one. It's a great one.
See, even when you're looking, you miss.
You miss it. Yeah.
All right, we get the like on this one. Who's what? Let me see. Caps Gallery. James Dornoff. Yep. All right. Member since 2019. All right. Then this is in Simon's Calf Gallery. Simon is Simon's got a great collection, very eclectic stuff. So it didn't surprise me to see a Chris Bichello, Mark Buckingham piece in his calf. I mean, this is kind of from Simon's sweet spot in collecting, I think, era-wise, but I like Bichello's work a whole lot, but this era is probably my favorite, just because I feel like whether it was him inking him or Buckingham in this case, the details that he put are just really, really fine. I mean, I feel like he's got a little bit looser in more of his current work, but this particular period of his I really admire. And this is a nice piece. I mean, I love the lightning effect in that third panel. Yeah, with the whiteout on it. I mean, it's just done really, really well.
That splatter is incredible.
Yeah, no, I love it. And it's an odd panel layout, right? I mean, you've got this tight, narrow panel that doesn't even cover, fill the page, the figure running. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of experimentation going on here, and I'm sure sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I have no problem with the way it's done, but I like that. One of the things I always what influences my choices are interesting panel layouts.
And that's certainly fits the bill here. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And yeah, let me get the like on that one too. So nice pickup for Simon. Then this was in Mark Levy's Calf Gallery, Brian Bolland pickup. This was a Comic Art Live pickup. I know because I actually looked at this piece and thought about buying it myself. So,
it's great.
I mean, this is something from Forbidden Planet. Brian Bolland, of course, is known for his Forbidden Planet ad pieces, and this one right here. again, it's maybe not the same characters, but you got a great Doctor Who up front there. You got a Wonder Woman. I mean, it's classic film imagery. So Nosferatu's on there. I mean, it's a fun image, I thought. And for me also, just the idea that I remember looking at this piece a lot at the start of the show, thinking, and I remember the price on it. I was like, boy, this is really, for a Bolland, it's affordable, and it's something that I would love to own. And it sold pretty quickly but it was available for the first couple hours. And and Joseph Melchior, who reps Brian, had this in his exhibitor booth.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Anytime you put Rondo Hatan on a piece, the Creeper, I'm in. That's killer. And then you've got the Phantom. It's just and it's beautifully executed. Brian is an amazing talent. It's amazing that he's switched to digital and his stuff still looks good.
I agree. I mean, I was, everybody was disappointed when he did that. I mean, but the quality of his work is still pretty impressive. That because I would just think styles won't translate well, going from traditional to digital. But he's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, this is a great pick.
Yeah,
I didn't see this in the show or on the boards.
Yeah,
So.
Bolland was one of it's actually one of my CAF keywords. So
there you go.
It popped up for me.
That works out. Yeah.
Yeah, it did help to find it. But and the funny thing was I remembered even that Joseph had mentioned that he was, because that was the same weekend as what is it, Supernova is the con in England, and he was at that. And I remember him stating, "I'm going to be slow to reply." And I thought, he's going to get so many requests for this piece. And but Mark's got a great collection, so I'm glad it went to him.
Yeah, it's great. Great pickup.
All right. Then here we go. Mr. Miracle. This is my Kirby pick. Royer inks though too, because I think Royer, like you, really captures Kirby's original intent better than anybody else. So and I use this one as the show graphic as well. So. But again, it's just didn't read it, but I love it. I mean, every time I see a Kirby hand, I smile.
Yep.
Just he had such a simplicity to his design, but it was so well thought out. I mean, I look at this now, and the line work. Yeah, look at the line works and the leg and the knee, and there's all this. So many things don't need to be there. I mean, he didn't care about anatomy being perfect, and it didn't matter. And the cool thing was that Royer just flowed with his original and his intentions, and just made it so much better. There's
no better. There's no better. And I did read Mr. Miracle. It's one of my favorite series. This was my original #1 pick.
Okay.
And I bounced it for the Sandman piece, and I did it because I thought, I wonder if Bill will pick this one. Because it's a splash page, it's a little more dynamic, but it is beautiful. The Mr. Miracle series, I can't recommend it enough. It's he based it on Jim Steranko. That was his inspiration for it. And then the Funky Flashman thing where he makes fun of Stan and Roy is killer in #6. That is such a fun. So many things in it.
Convincing me that I need to read it, Mr. Miracle.
Oh, it's so great. It's so much fun. It's just wacky. Scott Free. That's the character's name. Come on.
Yeah.
Kirby didn't care. He just wanted to have fun. He wanted to tell stories. I love that about him.
Well, all right. I'll add it to my reading list. Insecto Sapiens. Yeah, no, this is awesome.
Yeah, how great is that?
And it says in Mark Howland's CAF Gallery.
Yeah, it's a great piece.
All right. And then speaking of Eric Wenger, I mentioned him earlier. He did the icons for that best of stuff. But Eric gets, he collects some published work, but he does do a fair number of commissions as well. And you know what? I didn't even bother to check the artist. Oh, Brian Level, of course. But yeah, this is so well done.
Yeah,
I mean,
wild.
The water splashing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I couldn't not pick it. I feel like it's funny when I look at it. Even now, I'm thinking, wow, the tones there's not a lot of like bright whites or super darks, but but that's okay. It actually makes the image even more exciting that he hasn't like done, he's not going in either direction to kind of draw emphasis anywhere. It just makes this thing all the more confusing, but that's what it is. I mean, look, he's breaking through the side of the wall water splashing all over the place. I mean, I think the way Brian approached the piece really kind of makes it all the more dynamic and exciting.
Yeah, I'm glad you picked this because I had seen it and I saw the thumbnail and I just went over it because I couldn't tell what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But it reminds me very much of do you remember the Larson Spider-Man portfolio that he did it was the 70s or must have been the late 70s, maybe early 80s. I think it's is it Glenn Larson? No. But he did these Spider-Man paintings. There was a series of like 8 of them.
Eric or no?
No, not Eric Larson. This is
Fassner
before
and
him.
Larson. Yeah, Fassner and
Yeah.
Larson. Yeah. Gosh, I can't think of a Spidey one.
This reminds me of it because he did a great Lizard one. He did a great Doc Ock one. And I had those when I was a kid. And this rings that bell. I'll have to send you the images. Oh, Fassner and Larson. That was it. It was Fassner and Larson. Dave is correct. See, the resources in this chat, it's unbelievable. This is a super powered, this is the Justice League in one chat room.
They absolutely usually when I'm at a loss, somebody in the chat's got the answer. But yeah, I love this image. I mean, the more I look at it, it's so cool. I mean, it is.
I like it. I think it's really cool. It definitely looks confusing, but the more you look at it, the more you can see it. It really comes together. I love the pipes. The pipes are fantastic.
Yeah, and I love it. It's kicked at an angle. So the perspective's a little skewed. I mean, it just everything about it. I mean, it really well thought out. And you're right, the pipes are an odd choice to put in up front, but it works. It frames the piece really well.
We got a rat running in the front there in the foreground.
Rich Larson. There you go, Robert Berman.
Yeah, I think it is Rich Larson. It is Fassner and Larson. They're a team.
Well, nicely done there, Eric. Another great commission in your calf. Let's see. I got 2 more to go here. So switching back over to DC. This is a Jurgens Ordway piece. I mean, I'm not a DC guy, but I love team shots like this, or just massive, tons of heroes in there. It was kind of why I picked that the Secret Wars 2 piece last week. So this one to me is equally as fun, right? You have Wonder Woman's your kind of central character in this piece, but you just get a lot of other heroes crammed into it. And as a collector, I mean, I think these pieces are fun. You get more heroes on a page than you could ever hope to have, and this is a DPS, so you a little extra space.
Yeah, you need it. You can't get this into a single page. So yeah, it's got a real George Perez feel to it too as well. I like Jurgens' work. I think he's really solid. This is fun. I'm woefully behind on my superheroes, so I recognize about 6 people here. But
right, and I'm not a DC guy. I see I see Shazam back there somewhere, or Captain Marvel, right?
Captain Marvel.
I see Batman and Robin.
Nightwing.
I was gonna say that is Nightwing, I think.
Yep.
So,
and Blue Beetle, I know, and I know Wonder Woman. So this and Superman.
Superboy. All right, we might be able to get up to 10 here.
It's more than 6, so we don't have to be that embarrassed.
Right. But again, a nice piece. I liked it.
It's a really nice piece. Yeah, that looked great framed.
Okay, yeah, David Rosen. So I've seen their calf gallery before, huh? So very nice pickup. And I always like Jurgens Ordway. So
you can't ask for a better inker than Joey Ordway. I mean, he's a talent amongst himself. So
that is for sure. And my last pick was a Frank Miller. This is a Michael Close calf, but I kind of couldn't go wrong. I love as far as the composition on this piece. It's great. You got Santa, again, and you got Frank Miller, arguably, doing what Frank does best at a kind of the right time for him. So this is just a really nice piece. I love seeing the brushwork in the blacks. I mean, just everything about this piece made me feel like I had to pick it. I mean, it's outrageous, as far as him running on that wire. But either way, just a great image, really fun.
I think Miller can't be beat. He's an interesting guy too. I almost bought that package in Baltimore just to get a piece, and then I decided I can't spare that kind of time. And then I ran into him at Starbucks. So it was the greatest of both worlds. So.
Yeah. Well, this one, I loved it. But And who's Kafka? Oh yeah, Michael Clow. That's what I said.
Yeah,
But
that's a great
yeah,
cover.
it is. It's a beauty, and definitely. How many comments? Only 6 comments on this one, everybody. Well, Marcus
Yeah,
was first,
surprised,
of
yeah.
course. Get in there and leave some comments on this piece because it is. It's amazing.
That's great. And it was a cover to something?
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. It was a cover art to Dark Horse
Yes,
Comics
yes.
Best
Okay.
of the Star. Yeah, I don't even know what that would have been, but
Yeah.
does it have and no description? Michael did not write anything about it. But yeah, great image.
1998. Wow. That's great.
Yeah. So there you go. And there were plenty of I could go and look at that one page where I spot I can plug in a date range and see good stuff. It was like I could have picked another 10. Like you said, you had 40 that you had to whittle it down. I mean, there was a lot of great artwork posted last week. And it was, it's always like feast or famine on the holidays. I kind of thought we weren't going to see a lot of artwork, but it was kind of the opposite. There was a lot more artwork. I think people were hanging out at home or something, so they had time to scan and everything. But yeah, there was a ton of good artwork posted last week. I have to go back and look, but I think it was like 2,500 pieces went up. So that's a good week for us when we get that many artworks posted.
It was so much fun to see it every morning. So I mean, it's a new habit of mine, that I check the site to see what's been added because it's just so much great stuff. But of course, you'd be smart enough to put date ranges. I'm sitting there clicking back until can't put this one in.
Well, that's I built it just for that. I had Maureen. I should share that with whoever's helping me. But
you just try to figure out your own way.
That's right. Yeah, I cheat. But I need to cheat. I have to optimize my time.
Well, I think that worked out smart. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Well, you're welcome back. Anytime you have the time to do it, Andy, you just let me know. I mean, we always, Chris and I always approached it and said, like, first Thursdays of the month are good to have a guest on. So if you're ever up for it,
I'm up for it anytime.
No, I'd love to have you back on.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And the guys in the chat and gals, I'm sure, so great. Always a nice audience here, which is refreshing.
No, if I wouldn't be here if the audience wasn't enjoying it. Trust me. Yeah,
and they definitely do. I mean, I'm a viewer. I try to watch live, and I forget. And I tend to work. I tend to work after dinner, so I just forget what time it is. But I always catch the shows in the morning. So I'm always trying to comment after everything's already done, which is senseless. But that's just because my brain.
Do you work mostly in the morning or in the evening? I don't your art.
Well, I suspect my wife is in the chat now. I recognize a handle that she sometimes uses. So I'm going to say that I work 24 hours a day. I work constantly. No, I like to work later. I'm more of a slow start and then work into the night.
Mm-hmm.
So I just finally put lights in my studio. I used to work here in perpetual darkness like a cave. But I threw some.
Well, you kind of got the. I assume you're upstairs with the angled room. It looks like.
Yep. Yeah, I'm on the 3rd floor, possibly 4th floor, depending on how you count floors in the house.
You got skylights in there for some natural light during the day.
I've got no skylights. That'd be something to think about. So.
Well, if you're a night owl, it doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter. It's dark out. Can't see.
Yeah. Well, again,
anyway,
hey.
Thanks for having me.
No, well, and again, thank you both for sending me this. I mean, I can't wait to read it. I mean, I was, I know that Maureen picked up, I think, a page or two from this. She still didn't tell me which pages she bought.
So, funny. Well, actually, those are packaged up and on the way to you, so you'll be finding out soon.
Yep, but I can't wait to read this. I know that Maureen said she wanted to read it, and my youngest daughter Emma was because they all love the art. They were all like, whatever this is, it's got to be good.
It's a really good story, so I think they'll get something out of it. And like I said, it's the kind of story that, like the Golden Age stuff, it doesn't take 5 minutes to read. It's got some depth to it, which is great.
Right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Well, Andy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If I'm not going to see you, so have a great holiday season. The December is just getting started. It's probably starting to get a little cold where you're at.
It's freezing here. Yep.
It's 80 here.
Oh, congratulations!
This is gonna be weird. My first, winter in Florida. But I mean, we planted. Outside my window, there were a couple raised beds, and this is the planting season, believe it or not. So I learned how to put an irrigation system in, and I planted blueberries and blackberries. and they're already like 3 or 4 feet tall. So
Yeah, we got 3 penguins walking by the house this afternoon. So it's cold out there. Yeah. So yes,
All
I'll
right,
be back
man.
soon. Anytime, just reach out, and I'm happy to come back.
All right, I'll do that.
All right.
All right, Andy. Have a good night.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Oh man, well that was a lot of fun. Andy's his a different perspective. I mean, Chris has an art background, and so it's always fun to have somebody with an art background helping me with the picks, critiquing, and the pieces that I picked as well. I mean, that's always super fun for me. So thank you everybody for appreciating all the selections we did. I mean, Andy's were fantastic. So and some of them I wouldn't have picked, and many of them I didn't see. So as I mentioned, tomorrow's the important day. At 7 to 8 p.m. I'm going to be hanging out with Nick Berucci, and we're going to be doing that show that will have art for sale that's going to benefit pancreatic cancer research. And there were a couple different organizations that are going to be benefiting from the artwork that's selling. Bob Layton, as you saw in the video clip, made some fantastic pieces, 3 cover recreations, the one X-Men one, Teen Titans, and I'm forgetting what the third one was, but they were all absolutely gorgeous. And he also did that Thor, which, hey, I might even want to go after that one myself. But please tune in tomorrow, 7 to 8 p.m. Support Nick's show. He's got those 3 shirts as well, with the money going to George Perez's wife. And, again, we need to do more of that. And I know that we've talked about doing one on the Dueling Dealers. I know that, what we probably should do is probably have the next one where we would be raising any funds for a charity, probably on our anniversary, right? The 2nd anniversary show, which would be the last show that we would do in January. And I know that we talked about doing one for Anthony, and I think that would be wise. So maybe we'll talk about that next Wednesday when we do the Dueling Dealer show. I think I'll chat with him leading up to that, and we can set that on the agenda. Hawaiian shirt day, says Marcus. All right. But Bill and Nick's excellent adventure. Yeah, that's what it's going to be tomorrow. But again, please tune in if you can. It's going to be a great show. I love hanging out with Nick. He's got more energy than anybody I've ever met. I don't know how he does it. And he emails me at 3 a.m. He's literally working 24/7. I don't know how he keeps up the pace that he does, but I'm going to do my best to keep up with him tomorrow, and I hope to see you guys there. And if not, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be back at it next week. So I hope everybody has a great night, and I'll see you